I don't really know why I turned this on tonight. The room is quiet, quieter than it used to be. It felt like if I didn't say this now, it would just stay where it's been sitting for years, and I'm not sure I have many years left to keep holding it. My name is Samuel. I'm 74 years old. That sounds older when I say it out loud than it does in my head. In my head, I'm still younger in places. Certain memories don't age the way the body does. They stay sharp. They wait. There was a letter. That's what this is about. A single letter. It shouldn't feel this heavy. It was paper, ink, an envelope. Things that burn or tear or get lost every day. But this one stayed. Even when I didn't, I remember the day it came. I know the time of year because the air had that thin cold to it, the kind that hasn't decided yet whether it's winter. The mailbox squeaked when I opened it. It always did back then. I can still hear that sound if I let myself. The envelope didn't look important. No thick paper, no official stamp, just my name written the way only one person ever wrote it, slightly slanted, like they were always in a hurry. Even when they weren't, I didn't open it. I told myself I would later, after dinner, after work settled down, after I felt ready for whatever was inside. I slid it into a drawer instead, the one by the phone, the drawer everyone has, where things wait longer than they should. At the time, my life felt full, busy, loud. There were responsibilities that demanded answers right away, people who needed things from me. I had learned how to be dependable in ways that left very little room for pause. That drawer closed softly, too softly to feel like a decision. I don't remember the exact day it stopped being soon and started being not now. That shift happens quietly, no warning. One day you realize you haven't thought about something in weeks, and by then it feels strange to touch it again. Life kept moving. It always does. Jobs changed. People drifted. Some stayed. Some didn't. There were holidays where chairs moved around the table. There were years that passed without anything dramatic enough to mark them. And still, that letter stayed where I put it. Sometimes I would open the drawer for something else and see the edge of the envelope. Just the corner. It would catch my eye, and I'd feel that small tightening in my chest. Not fear exactly, more like hesitation that had learned how to live comfortably inside me. I told myself I didn't want to read it in a rush. I told myself it deserved the right moment. I told myself I'd know when that moment came. But moments don't announce themselves the way we expect. They pass, they blend into afternoons, into tired evenings, into days where you mean to get to things and don't. There were nights I lay awake and wondered what it said. Not the details, just the weight of it. Whether it was an explanation, an apology, or something simpler that would have changed the shape of things if I'd let it. I didn't talk about it. Not to anyone. It felt private in a way that made it fragile. Like if I spoke it out loud, I'd have to do something about it. So I didn't. Time has a way of making unfinished things feel permanent. After a while, the act of not opening the letter became part of who I was. Someone who waits. Someone who assumes there will always be another chance to return to what was set aside. I didn't realize then that waiting is still a choice. It just doesn't feel like one while you're doing it. Years went by. More than I like to count. The house changed. Furniture moved. Pictures came down, went back up, came down again. People who once filled the room slowly became voices on the phone, then memories, then names I said less often. The drawer stayed the same. At some point, the paper inside must have yellowed. I imagine the ink softened a little. Things age even when untouched. That feels important now. There were moments when I almost opened it. Real moments. My hand on the drawer handle. The room quiet enough that it felt possible. Those were usually the times when something else had just ended, when loss had already cracked me open a bit and I thought maybe I could bear one more truth. But I always stopped. I convinced myself that opening it would fix nothing, that whatever was written belonged to a version of life that no longer existed. I told myself I had already lived without it this long. That's a powerful lie, comfortable, clean. It lets you keep moving without looking back too hard. I didn't go back for the letter when the phone call came. The one that told me there wouldn't be another call after that. I remember sitting on the edge of the bed, holding the phone long after the line went quiet. The house felt too big that day, like sound couldn't find its way back to me. Even then, I left the drawer closed. Grief doesn't always push you toward answers. Sometimes it makes you protect the last unknowns you have left, as if not knowing is safer than knowing too late. After that, the letter stopped feeling like something waiting for me. It started feeling like something I had missed. The difference is subtle, but it changes the air around you. I noticed it in small ways, in how certain songs made me uncomfortable without any clear reason, in how I avoided certain streets, in how I felt a strange ache when I saw handwriting that looked familiar but wasn't. Memory has texture. Some memories are sharp, some are dull. This one was soft, but it pressed against everything. I aged, slowly, then all at once. My body began to speak up more often than my thoughts did. Mornings took longer. Silence felt heavier than it used to. One afternoon not long ago, I opened that drawer again. I don't know why that day was different. Maybe because there are fewer days ahead now than behind me, and the mind starts rearranging what it thinks matters. The envelope was still there. I picked it up. It felt lighter than I expected. Paper always does. It doesn't carry weight the way years do. I held it for a long time, long enough for my hands to tremble a little, long enough to realize that opening it now wouldn't return anything. It wouldn't restart a conversation or change an ending, but it would change me. That thought stopped me more than anything else ever had. I put it back. That's the part people don't understand when I've tried to explain it, though I rarely do. It's not that I was afraid of the truth inside the letter. It's that I had built so much of my life around not knowing it, that knowing felt like it might undo what little balance I had left. Waiting had become a companion, a quiet one. But constant and companions are hard to let go of, even when they cost you something. Now, at this age, time feels different. It doesn't stretch the way it used to. It gathers. It presses closer. I think about that letter more often now, not because I plan to open it, but because it represents something larger than itself. A moment I postponed until it became untouchable. There are days when I imagine what might have happened if I had gone back for it, not in dramatic ways, just small shifts, a conversation, a clearing of the air, the relief of not carrying unanswered questions into the later parts of life. But imagining isn't the same as living. What stays with me isn't curiosity anymore. It's the awareness of how easily we assume there will be time to return, to explain, to listen, to open what we close gently and tell ourselves we'll come back to. Some things don't wait. They sit quietly until the moment for them passes, and then they become something else entirely. I don't feel angry about it. Anger burns too hot for this stage of life. What I feel is more like a low ache, the kind you notice most when everything else goes quiet. The letter is still in that drawer. I know exactly where it is. I also know that knowing isn't the same as being able to change what it represents. I don't say this because I want anything from you. I'm not offering answers. I don't think there are neat ones. This is just a piece of my life that stayed unfinished, and now it belongs to memory instead of possibility. Some truths don't arrive late because we weren't ready. They arrive late because waiting felt safer than opening the door. If you're still here, thank you for sitting with this. You don't need to say anything.